Views and opinions expressed by the guests of Sasquatch Experience do not necessarily reflect the opinion of the hosts, sponsors, or affiliates of the Sasquatch Experience. As always, listener discretion is advised.
911, what are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my central light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something that looks like a man. I don't know what it was.
Back in 2005, we set out with one goal: to give voice to the mystery and those who pursue it. Sasquatch Experience Podcast has been your go-to source for serious Bigfoot discussion, where we separate fact from folklore, always grounded in research and respect. We've interviewed eyewitnesses, experts, and skeptics alike, because understanding Bigfoot isn't just about belief, it's about the journey. Nearly 2 decades later, we're still chasing shadows and sharing stories. The search never stopped. Welcome to the Sasquatch Experience.
Jesus Christ, you better... Tia!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
I'm Sean Forker. That's Matt Arner. Henry May dropped off. He'll be back on. And our guest tonight, Mike. Mike, I always butcher your last name, buddy. I don't want to do it.
Famelant.
Famelant. All right. See, I wanted to add a little extra joie vivre on there and get it all fancied up. So, Mike, thanks for clarifying that again for us.
It's all good. Thanks for having me.
So, folks, bear with us tonight with some technical difficulties. As you can see, we got a little time lag. Henry is back. Matt is back. Some of the clan here. Vance is off tonight. Baker's off tonight. We wish them well in their individual pursuits of justice, happiness, and exaltation of Pepto-Bismol. So it's been a long weekend for Matt and I, as we have just gotten back from a top secret project. We can't really talk about too much, but it was a lot of fun, was it not, Matt?
We had a blast. And can you hear me okay? Okay, yeah, we had an absolute great time. Our hosts were absolutely amazing. And I really don't want to say too much. So just keep tuned to STM at the end of the month.
Right. I mean, it's going to be for every folks like it. Through this exciting journey. If you want to send us hate mail, send it all to Henry. He reads it. The rest of us don't care. And Henry likes to use it, to print it out and use it as wallpaper. So go ahead, send it all to him. Mike, welcome to the program tonight. And normally I'd take a little bit of extra time to go through a long artist process of introductions, but I'm having some difficulties. So tell us about yourself and how the heck you got started in Bigfoot.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mike Famelant, I'm 36. I come from the armpit of Pennsylvania and New York in northwestern New Jersey. I used to be a firefighter and EMT. Don't do that anymore. Did that for 12 years, got burnt out. So then I decided, well, what am I going to do besides EMT and firefighting? So I was like, I'm into Bigfooting. Let me make a Bigfoot show. But let me digress. I jumped ahead. It all started back in 2011. I think most of you had probably heard my story, so I'll just kind of go over it real quick. I was working at a beach resort in Florida, and I was watching Finding Bigfoot, and they were like, "Hey, if you want to come out with a team, you can." I was like, "Holy crap, yes!" So I'm gonna do that. So I got 2 tickets. Ended up being me and one of my good buddies, Jimmy. We went up to North Florida in Torrey State Park in Florida, and we ended up getting 4 fist-sized rocks thrown at us. And then my buddy, who I was with, threw a rock back at it, And at that point, about 3 seconds later, a 15-pound laptop-sized boulder came crashing down and landed 5 feet away from us. So that was our first little experience of Bigfoot. Nothing else happened that night. But the interesting thing is the next day we wanted to be all scientific. So we were like, okay, what's the closest this thing could have been to us? And the closest this thing could have been was like 75 yards away. So, I mean, outside of human range. So kind of opened my eyes to be like, oh man, something is something is in the woods, and I'm going to try to figure out what it is.
So that's one big rock to have chucked at you, a laptop-sized boulder. That's no fun. I've had little rocks thrown at me, about a softball-sized rock, but I've not had a boulder thrown at me before. So it got you convinced that there's something to this mystery. Did you grow up around it, Scott? Were there any early influences, like a particular book or particular TV show that got you the itch?
No, not at all. I was actually a very indoor child. Growing up, like put me in front of like a movie with a video game, or like a screen with a video game or a movie or anything like that, and I am like good to go for the day. So actually, this camping trip where we had the rocks thrown at us was the first time that I was ever like really legitimately in the woods. First time ever camping. First time ever, doing that. So. Needless to say, it was a little unsettling to have the first camp time in the woods have these rocks come at me. Oh, I think you're muted there.
Oh, I am. I was trying to kick it over to you, Matt. I was saying rocks. Those are no fun.
Whoop. I agree. And yep, here we go. And it's funny because there's another New Jersey, New York researcher, and him and I had been out on a outing, and we had rocks thrown at us. And he said, "Hey, maybe we should throw the rocks back." And I said, "Listen," I said, "if whatever's out there could throw the rock with such force and with such speed and such such a bullseye shot, me just chucking a rock in the woods isn't going to do it." So I'll probably start a war there. And I really don't want to get into a rock throwing contest with Bigfoot.
Bigfoot wars.
Yes, Bigfoot rock wars. So what really, I don't want to jump too much into it, but Mike, with your brand, is the shadow of the red eye. Can you explain what the red eye is and how that ties into your everything that you do for the research?
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true. So every kind of geographical region in the country has their own like little story of Bigfoot. You have the skunk ape in Florida, you have the grassman in Ohio, all that, that good stuff. So back in 1972, a state park ranger in New Jersey's High Point State Park, which is where I am in the northwest corner, was doing a night patrol. And during his night patrol, he was, I guess, walking around the woods or driving around the woods or something like that. He saw 2 pairs of reflecting red eyes. And at the end of his shift, he wrote that in his shift report. And somehow it got leaked. I guess one of his fellow officers leaked it to the newspaper or something like that. And the next morning, front page of the Star Ledger, Sussex County's Bigfoot, Big Red Eye, was born. So that's our little local claim to fame for Bigfoot, and why I named the show In the Shadow of Big Red Eye, because it just seems like we are always just right behind finding that key piece of evidence. We're always in the shadow. We're always right behind him.
And with you being New Jersey based, but I do see that you do travel quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Where is your favorite place to do research?
You're asking me. That's like asking a fisherman where the honey hole is. I mean,
Yeah.
All right, fair. Whitehall, New York, and I'll say that with by saying that we go up there every year. They have the Whitehall Festival up there. and we do research while we're up there. Obviously, we're not going up this year, unfortunately, but every year we do research, and we went up a couple years ago, and I swear there's audio of it. We got surrounded by Bigfoot. We were getting tree knocks. We were getting rocks thrown at us. We had lights. We had the thermals, and we could not see anything. It was just they were too far away. You know how it is, like when you're out in the field, you can't see something. It's just a little too far away. They were throwing rocks. You could hear the rocks in the audio recording, like being like thrown over our heads and hitting trees behind us. Like that's how like intense it was. It lasted 6 minutes before we evacuated the area and got out of there. And what was cool, the next day we went back because we were, looking for some physical evidence of what could possibly have done that. And we found a tree break, but it was not there the day prior. And this was like a legitimate sized tree. It wasn't like, there was no weather pattern that came through that could have caused that. So it was very, very intriguing. It made us feel like, okay, we're entering upon this, like, I think Bigfoot lives in like a family group scenario. So I think we were like a little too close to this family group of Bigfoot, and they were trying to chuck rocks at us and hit trees and trying to get us out of the area, and it absolutely worked.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And I will say Whitehall is just because it seems to be the most productive area consistently that I've been to.
Yeah. And to give the listeners and the viewers a little bit of perspective, you're in Sussex County right now, and explain how far Whitehall is, and can something come from the Whitehall area down to Sussex County, New Jersey, basically without being seen?
Yeah, so Whitehall is a drive is probably about 3.5 hours from here. I don't think a Bigfoot's range is that large. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of miles. I don't think if maybe an adult male Sasquatch, may travel distances like that. And we know other animals do, so that's not out of the question. I think they mostly stay in like they're kind of like family groups, and I think they move with the food. So I don't think they would need to move as far as down here would be. I think their food source would be available closer to them, so there would be no reason for them to travel that distance.
That is a great area up there. Right between those mountains up there in Whitehall. It is a fascinating area, but leading it down to New Jersey, tell us now. We know what the origin of the red eye came from, but can you tell us about some recent reports that you've collected in, especially in the Sussex County area? Because that is, I've been there. That is a hot spot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What's cool about it is we, a couple months ago, over the summer, we, each year we set up at the New Jersey State Fair and Farm and Horse Show, and we set up a booth. We have a big vending table. It's like what we do. We sell stuff and all that stuff. But, what's super cool about it is not only did we make a killing selling a lot of stuff, we took in about half the number of Bigfoot reports that we already have on record for Sussex County. So we have 71 current Bigfoot sightings in Sussex County, New Jersey, which is represents the highest number east of the Mississippi. So
that's great.
It's cool. If you go onto my website at shadowofredeye.com, scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, you can click on the map and you could click each individual pin, which is a sighting, and you could read the sighting that was reported to us. So it's kind of cool, nice little Sussex County database that we have. But going back to what I was saying, when we were set up at the fair, we got 41 new reports of Bigfoot. And these are reports that people have never told anybody before. They've come up and they say, hey, I just saw your booth, and 30 years ago, I saw Bigfoot on Layton Road. And it's like, that is so cool, because that's like the 5th report that I've got today of Bigfoot on Layton Road in the 70s, it's the coolest thing.
Mike, why do you think that is? Why do you think folks are so willing to come to you and talk to you about all these sightings?
I think it's because I give it's the opportunity is there for them to speak about it. They've never had this opportunity and this ability to release and share their stories because the fear of getting ridiculed or laughed at or anything if the general public is just going to be like, that's kind of a little bit crazy, right? And I think, I don't know about you guys, but I know when I first got into Bigfoot field research, I kind of hid it from everybody because I was a little like, okay, this is a little kind of little off the wall, So, and then finally I was just like, I like this too much. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna roll with it. But no, it's the ability. I used to have, I don't know if anybody's familiar. I used to have a Subaru. It was all decked out in like Bigfoot research on the side, said Mobile Command Center.
Right.
And unfortunately, she died a couple months ago. I know. Yeah. So it was either that or fix it or for $18,000 or get a new car. So I said, well, I'm going to get a new car. Right. But that car was great because at like the gas stations or whatever, I'll be gassing up and it without fail. Every, I don't know, month or so, somebody would come up to me and say, hey, I've never told anybody this before, but this is when I saw the Bigfoot. Whoa. There we go.
You all right there, Mike? Okay.
Yeah, we're good. So it's so cool. It's just, and unfortunately now I don't have the car, so that kind of takes away from that. It is nice going low profile and on the DL for a little bit, though. It's kind of nice.
Absolutely. I feel that. It was funny because it's not something I really considered before being that low profile about it, but we had a really particular witness who did not want us coming there with any T-shirts, anything on our vehicle that indicated that we were part of anything Bigfoot related because they were part of a hunting cabin. And, we talk about this in our upcoming project, but the part of where we live and maybe even part of where you're at, it's kind of conservative and hunting and fishing is a way of life. And, you're part of one of those hunting cabins and all of a sudden you start talking about being a Bigfoot researcher. The next thing you know, you're out of the hunting lease and you're not going to find another one that's going to take you in. And that's hard to reconcile with. So as much as with you, I'd like to be loud and proud and have my vehicle all decked out. One, my wife would never allow it. And two, I think, some witnesses would still want that little bit of, I guess, anonymity from, their public and public. Go ahead, Matt. Were you going to say something, buddy?
No, I was just kind of going in the same way. There's some witnesses that, if they do see this, the stickers on the car, they'll easily come up to you. But I know with us, again, a lot of it, we do. I think it's more for our area that we do get the people that, hey, we, can just come up and don't wear a Bigfoot T-shirt, don't have anything on like that. We're just going to say you're hunters or something like that, just checking out the area. And that's how we get a lot of reports. But having those, having the sign on the truck or, having anything like that to show. I can't tell you how many times people have come up to me. I'm wearing an NABC shirt and, hey, do you believe in that? And then next thing you know, we get into a conversation and it works out great. So, hopefully you get your,
double-edged sword.
Absolutely. So, I have another question I was going to ask. I was going to save for later, but I'm going to ask you right now.
Sure.
We have a good friend of ours. She's a listener to the program, Kimberly Groduck. She lives over in Wayne County, right outside of Holly. And she wanted to know on the Pennsylvania side, right across from Sussex County, have you taken any reports for Wayne County?
Yeah,
I know Pike County is a hot spot, but
Pike County, Wink. So we're talking about Lake Wallenpaupack, Hawley area.
Yes, going all the way up to the border.
Yeah,
to the New York border.
So again, honey hole fishing thing. The gas line that runs through there. I believe it runs through. I know. Well, it runs through New Jersey through High Point. That's where I've gotten some of the best activity that I've ever captured. And that gas line runs into Pennsylvania and rolls. I believe it's through Holly. I know it's State Game Lands 116. We just did an investigation over there, and that's a hot spot. That's got power lines, gas lines. I mean, you name it, it's got it there. Lakes, rivers, stream. I mean, it's really cool. And then even just in general, the Delaware State Forest is, I mean, it's a sprawling. I mean, there's just tracks and tracks and tracks of different pieces of land. You can go camping on there. You can go squatching on there. I mean, it's great. So if you're looking to get out in northeastern Pennsylvania, like Delaware State Forest, definitely the place to go.
Yeah. And again, she came out to us at one of our events, and she really wants us to check that out. But looking for reports, there's not that many reports on the BFRO website. But I kept saying this is perfect habitat there. And I know I did an investigation up at High Point, and we went down to the river. And honestly, the river at that point, there's a couple deep holes, but you can, if you're 7-8 feet tall, you can wade across that river no problem.
Bears swim across that river daily, so I'm sure that they could cross that river. There's not a question in my mind that they don't cross that Delaware River. There's no geographical blockage there by any means.
Correct. And again, High Point, that really just between that and the Pinelands have been just fantastic. We're back. That and the Pinelands have been fantastic habitat. And again, High Point, we had a howl at 4:00 in the morning that, I mean, you can hear the coyotes, but then when you heard this one, this was no coyote, and you could feel the sound going through your chest. And that guy was a pretty far distance, but definitely not a coyote. But have you had any? You mentioned about the incident that you had, the encounter that you had. Have you had any other encounters that you want to talk about, or that you may have experienced?
So we'll roll with the High Point because we were just talking about High Point. I also have recorded. Me and my team have recorded one of the best that we've ever captured from High Point, and it's exactly the same thing that you're describing. It was late at night, maybe 1:00 in the morning, and I did a barred owl call, and we got back a series of 3 howls, and it was clear as day. I mean, 5 of us recorded it, and then the coyotes went wild after that. So I mean, clear difference. You could night and day. So that was really cool. We've also found a footprint from up in High Point State Park, which is really cool, in the snow, which was awesome. I couldn't cast it, unfortunately, because it's just not castable. And then, but the second thing that really got me into Bigfoot was again down in Florida, and we were, so this is about so after we got the rocks thrown, we left that expedition. We were like, okay, we're going to figure out what is throwing these rocks at us, right? So we started researching all the witnesses, the researchers, the hot spots, watching all the shows on TV, and in about a 3-week time frame, we decided that we are now professionals. So bring in Colt Creek State Park, which is in Central Florida. We were there for one night. It was me and my buddy Jimmy again. And we go for a night hike. Jimmy's not scared at all. He's got his 6-foot-tall machete and his 10 million lumen spotlight, that he's got shining around. So anyways, we get down to about 1.5 miles from camp. And all of a sudden, Jimmy's spotlight comes across 2 pairs of reflecting eyes. All right. One pair is like fire engine red. Cool. The other pair, aqua blue. So that's kind of weird. Oh, wow. Yeah. Interesting. So anyways, we thought it was people. We didn't realize that people don't have eye shine. We were so new to this whole Bigfoot thing and being in the woods. We were like, oh, it's just people. So we started yelling out to the thing, hey, we're just looking for Bigfoot, you know. And no answer. Then the red set turned and looked at the blue set, turned and looked back at us, and then blinked. And that was another nope moment in our lives. We were, I mean, out of there real quick, you know. But Jimmy put a notch in the tree with his machete. So when we went back the next day to do a recreation, we could see that the eyes were about like they were 7.5 feet tall. So, and about 2 feet apart from each other. So, I mean, you know, and my rolling theory on that is that was 2 owls of different species sitting on a branch that didn't exist there. Is the only thing I could come up with, or 2 Bigfoot.
Yep.
So that was kind of cool. Those are 2 really other very intriguing experiences that I've had that's happened to me along my journey so far.
Sure. And so with you doing the programs throughout the country, are you also getting reports from when you go out to, say, the Tennessee, Florida, and you know, basically you're all over the East Coast?
Yeah, Maine to Florida. And what's cool by doing these presentations, for those that don't know, I do this full-time. Bigfoot research is my full-time occupation, and I go around during the day to libraries, and that funds my way to film my show and camp across the country at night.
He gets out there, folks. He's out there.
I spent 139 nights just last year alone tent camping. So, so I am not hard to find. But what's cool about the libraries is the fact that we were actually talking a little bit before the show. You get to meet these people, and one, it's the libraries like it because it's people that don't come out to the libraries normally, so it's a new face for them. And it's you know, people that want to share, that may have seen a Bigfoot and just want to share their encounter. And at the beginning of the program, I always ask, has anybody ever seen a Bigfoot? And you know, nobody raises their hand. But what's cool at the end of the program, after making friends with these people and after getting to know them and them getting to know me, people will open up and finally share their stories and be like, you know what, I actually did see a Bigfoot. I can't tell you how many times that happens. And that's cool. You know, it's cool. It makes you wonder how many people have seen a Bigfoot and not reported it.
We say the same thing.
Right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's a question that...
Henry, you got a question? I'm sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to step on you. I'm delayed, guys. I apologize.
Oh, muted. I think we're muted.
No? You're good on our end, Henry. Did your microphone crap out on you? It wouldn't surprise. That's the flavor of the night.
Yeah.
we get a good guest, and I'm on cellular backup right now, so I apologize. Henry is still there. Earth to Henry.
I think he's there. I just don't think he's. Is he doing is he doing like a mime thing? It's pretty good.
Henry, hold on to that thought. Matt, go ahead, or Mike, you guys can go ahead, and as soon as we can get Henry back, we can get him on to ask the question.
So, out of those areas, what do you think about the Tennessee area? Because I do see that you do spend a lot of time down there as well.
Matt's second love.
Yeah, Tennessee's really cool. Put me in the Smoky Mountains on a trail, and I am just in heaven. I mean, it's one of my most favorite places that I've ever been, the Smoky Mountains. Then you got, West Tennessee, where you got Land Between the Lakes. That is just such a wonderful, spectacular area as well. And then you got, Middle Tennessee, where I'd be remiss to say, I really enjoy Broadway and going to Nashville. So that's
Oh,
always
really?
fun.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
always a fun time too. So whenever I'm in Tennessee and Middle Tennessee, I always got to take a night or two and stop in Nashville.
Yep. Yeah, because it's not all about, being out in the woods or doing that. You do got to have some fun sometimes. So
Yeah,
and,
no, it's and the point, and I think you guys can both agree with me on this. We share very similar philosophies when it comes to Bigfoot research. Is that it's not about the finding, really. It's not. It doesn't matter if I go out and don't get any evidence of Bigfoot in an expedition. That means nothing to me. It's all about the journey and getting there and meeting
absolutely.
the people and seeing the sights. That's the most important thing. It's the journey. So whether Bigfoot's out there, even if Bigfoot's not out there, I think we all can agree that he probably is, but I don't know. I've never seen one. So hopefully.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I think when everything comes to the way it's supposed to be, I think people are going to be very surprised about Matt and I's exact philosophy, because we state something very similar to what you just said, Mike. Like, Matt and I think at some point, though we would like to have acknowledged we're probably not going to be the person that gets this videographic piece of evidence, right? Yeah. But that doesn't mean we're not going to give it our all. And the quest to, one, enjoy being in the outdoors, which is what it's really about, forming brotherships and friendships with people that get out there with us, taking care of witnesses and helping them through the experiences they had, but also trying to gather something, whether it's audio. And I think Matt and I have kind of reserved ourselves to really being comfortable collecting that audio. Now you're doing a project, Mike, and you've been doing this project, filming your show. Do you think any of us are actually going to get them on video at this point? Or do you think if the Patterson film is real, because not everybody shares that philosophy, right? Do you think that if we haven't got it by now, we're not going to get it at all?
Well, here's the thing. So as a Bigfoot field researcher, with you or Matt or myself, it doesn't really matter. Anybody that does field research, we spend a legitimate amount of time in the woods, and we put ourselves in a wonderful scenario to be able to capture video evidence of a Bigfoot. So with that being said, we have the probably most percent chance to get this on video. However, we are also the people who are going to be the most likely to hoax this video.
Well, that's a really good point, Mike.
So when there's so much that goes into it, you can't, I mean, is the Patterson Gimlin footage real? I believe so. I think it's a really good, high quality evidence of Bigfoot being out there. I think it's really great. Do I strive to get video evidence of that or better myself? Absolutely. But again, if I were to say tomorrow, or Sean, hey, get this, look at this video I found, and it's the clearest evidence of Bigfoot, I know you're probably not going to be like, no, but there's going to be a whole lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's AI, he faked this, he's doing it because of other reasons or whatever. And I would obviously never do anything like that. However, that doesn't really matter to the general public.
It's weird how synchronized we are on that thought process, because that's a big fear. And I think when you really, break that point down, it's one of the fears I have as a researcher. If I collect this evidence, I'm going to spend more time trying to validate it to the people that we rub elbows with and try to collect it for, I think, than the people that want it.
Yeah.
And I think that when you're in this for so long, 20 plus years or what have you, and you're just now getting this evidence, I think it's harder for people to try to take that evidence and be accepting of it. Oh, well, they've been doing it for 30 years. They must be tired of coming up with nothing. So here they go with the fake stuff. So it's a real catch-22 to be in. And, it's very difficult. And I even say that I go back to, when I had my sighting, Mike, and our listeners have heard this story ad nauseum, but it really shook me afterwards because I was worried I was going to lose my objectivity and I wasn't going to be able to be a credible researcher anymore. That's what really bothered me about it. That now that I've had this experience, one, who's going to believe me? And two, have I lost that part of me that is now going to be objective? And am I going to start believing everybody, or am I going to be seen as not being objective? So it leads you down some very scary roads of thought.
Mm. Yeah, it's a good point. That's a very good point. People ask me all the time, what are you going to do when you finally see a Bigfoot? And I don't know. I say the 3 P's: pee, poop, or pass out. Probably all 3. Don't know what order, but no, really. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I mean, there's what you would do in the minute that you see Bigfoot, but then it's more about the question of afterwards, like you were saying, like. What is your thought process gonna do? Is it are you going to, for me, is it going to be like I made it my mission to find out what threw rocks at us in Florida's wilderness. So when I see that thing, I'm going to know that it's out there. And is that going to be like Grand Theft Auto mission complete type of thing? And like, I'll be good to go. Am I going to go back to playing video games and watching TV all day? Or is that going to light a fire under me to be like, now I got to know more about these creatures? Hopefully it's the latter, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, I could tell you in my end, it was, this bothered me so much. I think I want to quit, to, finally putting all that behind me and saying, I really need to get into this more. And I think it relit that fire for me and made it more passionate, really lit that fire passion of getting back into discovery. But it's not that way for everybody. The 3 P's are starting to resonate, Mike. You need to put that on a t-shirt. Henry,
put that on a t-shirt. You're right.
Yeah. Henry's here with volume, guys. Henry, what was your question for Mike?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Mike, what is your best hotspot for researching Sasquatch?
Yeah, we kind of talked about it. I don't know if you were in here. Whitehall, New York is really good. I love that. But really, when it comes to hotspots, it's not about, for me anyway, I don't like to go in hotspots because there's a lot of researchers there. There's the Bigfoot are kind of, I hate to say like squatched out, but they kind of are, maybe they left the area, maybe they're not there anymore because of too many people looking for them. But I like to go where maybe there's been a lot of historical reports, maybe not something as recent. Of course, if there was a sighting the day prior, I'm going to go check that out. But if there's been a cluster of sightings, I may just go somewhere a little off where people normally go. That's where I like to go.
Cool.
Does that answer your question, Henry?
Yeah.
Any follow-up?
Well, I see. There's, I guess, a follow-up. As far as, now you've heard about sightings of red-eyed creatures and also blue-eyed creatures. Has there been any other eye colors that you've heard about?
I've heard of like almost every spectrum that you can think of. White, I've heard of. Actually, like I've heard one of my good research friends, and I've never seen Bigfoot illuminate with their eyes. This eye glow that some people say that they can do. I've never seen that, but I've had one of my good Bigfoot research friends swears. I mean, like a flashlight, they could turn on and off. White. Red, I've heard green, blue, orange, like an orange fire color. I've actually heard like red on the outside and then orange in the middle too. I don't know, almost like orbish like, but not. I don't know. I've heard that before. Yeah.
Wow.
So, Mike, overall, do you think that we're going to find a North American ape, a relict hominid, or something else?
Yeah, I that's a great question. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. I think we all have good thought process. I think it's a relic, human, like an old person. Just that we took the E word, the evolutionary route, and I think Bigfoot kind of paralleled us and just took a different route, and used to be in cahoots with us, like back in the Native American days where we were all friendly with each other. They were the guardians of the forest type thing. Then when, the European white man came over with their guns and everything like that, and we started, decimating everything and that we could possibly get our hands on, I think Bigfoot saw that and was like, oh man, we need to stay away from this because that's not cool.
You brought up about the Native American lore. Have you researched, and I believe our areas kind of overlapped in a lot of ways. It would probably be Muncie, Lenape.
Yes.
Have you researched any of their legends, any of their stories for Bigfoot?
Not as much as I would like to. I haven't delved deep in as much. I know the Lenape Indians do have this. I don't even remember the name of the name of it, but they do have a red-eyed Bigfoot type creature in their folklore, which is very, very cool.
That is, and it stretches from coast to coast with all the different tribes.
Yeah.
That I deal a lot with the Iroquois nation because they're close to north central PA, and to them they're the stone giants. So, but the stone giants, they say they're hairy, covered with mud, caked mud, which gives them that stonish appearance. And I could see how that story from generations would play out today. But the Lenni Lenape and the Muncie, I'm still trying to dig into their legend with that. So it's definitely an interesting subject.
Oh, for sure. If anybody were to know who lives in the woods, I think it would be the Native Americans. They just, and what's cool about it is they don't, they all spoke different languages. Like they weren't cool with each other. They would trade stuff every once in a while, but they're not going to be like, hey, you see our 8 foot tall friend in the woods yesterday? How's he doing? That's not like a thing that they would do. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Could be.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, you make a good point on that. And it's something that as we've spent the weekend, going through a lot of the historical part of research, and, we can include Mike in that area because, a good part of where he does covers our, that blanket area we're trying to discover is look into those native language. For some reason, I think Pennsylvania, and this, I'm not throwing us into this umbrella, just some food for thought and some conversation. We really tend to focus on some of the paranormal aspects of this, UFOs, orbs, so on and so forth. You're either, so in Pennsylvania, you're like either in flesh and blood or you're in the paranormal vicinity, but there isn't a lot of people talking about the native aspect of Bigfoot in Pennsylvania, as you would find out on the coastal areas.
Mm-hmm.
I was just in New York State doing southern New York State doing an investigation yesterday. Actually, someone reported hearing a very loud wail, like a whoop sound, and I was up there doing, and we went out and I took him out and we were looking, and he's very into the Native American lore and spiritual aspect of life and of his philosophy and everything like that, and he feels that the Native American spirits and Bigfoot are related, and he challenges us to. He said, "Hey, have you ever incorporated a paranormal investigation into a Bigfoot expedition?" And personally, I haven't. However, I would be open to the idea. I think, because why not? I don't think it would hurt any.
Yeah.
And really, 2 birds, 1 stone in that case.
It's interesting you said whale songs. Friends of mine, Brian and Terry Seach, And I got this information from Dave and Carrie. Rupert had gone up to the Kinzua over and broadcasted out whale songs to see if they could elicit a response from a Bigfoot response. Another mammal. Do mammals speak mammal? I don't know. It's not something we've tried, and I don't know the outcome of that. But it's just funny. You said whale songs, and then I'm picking up. This is why more people need to compare notes. So we can see, what results we're getting out of that. And, I'm assuming it's that sound and how it's going to traverse through the woods, right? And see how that picks up with others.
I almost exclusively, if I don't call blast barred owl calls, I will call blast exclusively blue whale calls, just because of the pitch and the octave, like the low vibration frequency that
right.
That is, I know speakers can't capture that, but it's the closest that I think we could get to it.
No, and I think that's something that more of us should be trying, this experimental audio. It is, we tend to use the same kind of Bigfoot sounds that we hear on the internet, either the Sierra sounds or the Ohio howl or the whoops. And, we use them without knowing what they mean. And we don't know what we're saying. Are we sending them into alarm? Are we... are the answers we're getting answers we really want? We don't know because we don't speak that language. So, what does it hurt trying to use some of these other sounds of nature, or even sounds that may, resonate in the same frequency, Mike? So, kudos to that. And I think it's something we all need to try a little bit more of. The whole thing with audio is I love it. I love being able to hear it. I love being able to play around in it, but we just don't know what it means, and that could be problematic.
And it's good. It's good that we brought up about using the barred owl call, and that was something I brought out when we were doing a little bit of the taping this weekend. And what I go through, what I kind of put it in line with is turkey hunting. And if anyone's gone turkey hunting, what you do is you go out the night before and you get the birds to gobble when they're up on the roost. It's called a shock gobble. And how you do that is you use a call, and it basically shocks them to make that call. So a barred owl, the peacock, another gobble. If you go out during a thunderstorm in the springtime, you'll hear the turkeys gobbling after the crack of thunder. So something like that could elicit, an answer without it, without sending a question out, that, hey, I'm, because again, we don't know what that means. Hey, I'm an available Sasquatch. Come and meet me, or hey, I'm going to come and bash your brains out, because I'm the new guy here. We don't know, So using the barred owl call or a call like that is really a great idea, and I'm glad to hear people using it and getting responses. But I do have another question. It's kind of a somewhat nerdy tech question here. Is and Brian just brought up about crow calls, very, very good too. But the question is, what kind of audio equipment do you use for making the calls? You use the Fox Pros? Do you have your own system set up? Can you explain how you do that to get those sounds out?
Yeah, I don't have any expensive equipment, so when I do vocalizations, I just do them myself. When I do the barred owl calls or the whale calls or whatever, I will use my phone and just YouTube and broadcast, Bluetooth them over my speaker, which is unfortunately not the loudest thing, but it does the job, So yeah, I'm still waiting for one of those big companies to send me something cool to use. So I don't know how. I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Get on it, people. Get on it. Send us some stuff. Us too, while you're at it. We won't throw our hands down for free.
I will say, talking about audio real quick is in vocalizations. What is cool is I love when I go up to New England because I love the sound of the common loon. I don't know if anybody's
Mhm.
familiar with the loon sound. It's
Oh,
very
yes.
cool. And actually, I was up at Mount Blue State Park, and they actually in their visitor center they have a thing that you can make a loon call with. It's really cool. It sounds just like it. It's a rope and a piece of plastic, and it's really cool. You pull it and it spins. I use that all over the country, and I do that because it's different. A Bigfoot in Florida has never heard a loon before. And they're going to be like, what in the world is that? And then they're going to come in and check it out. And that's what we want. That's the whole point of what we want for when it comes to Bigfoot research. We want Bigfoot to come in and check us out so we can get that Bigfoot on camera. So I haven't used it in a long time, but I'll use fireworks. I know that's like some people say that's like a big no-no, but if you do it like one or two, that's not crazy. Maybe a smoke bomb. Hey, that's an intriguing kind of little thing. One of my favorite research methods is to actually get like a bunch of old CDs, which I don't know if you're familiar, but they're like music things. They came in a thing, and you put them inside. They play music. It's weird, but you get them, and they have a reflecting side. You hang them with fish line from a tree. You get like 30 of them. Hang them from a tree, and they're it's like a disco ball shining around. Put double-sided tape on the non-reflective side. Make the ground all nice and saturated for whatever may come in and check it out. So Bigfoot's going to come in, check out this reflecting spinning thing hanging from a tree that's never been there before, grab it. You're going to get a fingerprint on one side. You're going to get a hair sample from the double-sided tape on the other side, and you're going to get a footprint from the ground from where he stood. I think that's the best way to get evidence.
Absolutely great idea.
Has it worked? No. But that's okay. Not yet, I will say.
But you try. That's all you do is try.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you keep trying until you either realize it's never going to work or you get something from it. So,
and I am very stubborn-headed, so I'm never going to give up. So that's the problem.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not
I ran out of Britney Spears CDs, so I'm going to have to.
It's not an incredibly expensive trap to use either, Mike. It's if you can get the CDs, and at this point, like you said, if folks even know what CDs are, it works. Mike, what kind of messaging do you want to put to people out there who may just be getting involved in this or might be nervous about sharing their experiences with folks like us?
Yeah, it's just the community itself is a wonderful, just incredible, filled with incredible people. Yeah, any community you're going to get some bad apples, and that's just a given. But for the most part, like at a Bigfoot festival or conference, I generally don't have a problem leaving all my merch on the table and going to the bathroom. Like I don't think people are going to steal stuff, and I can't say that about other festivals and conferences that I go to. So the community itself is wonderful. You have a bunch of wonderful people that you could share and open up to that are not going to judge or laugh or mock or make fun of anybody. And it's just, it's Bigfooting itself is just, it's changed my life. It's changed everybody's life here for the better. I think, it's not a bad thing. Even if you don't get into Bigfoot itself, maybe, it's not for everybody. Walking around the woods at night looking for an 8-foot tall bipedal primate may not be for everybody. Like, I get it. But that doesn't mean you can't get into other things like photography or hiking or backpacking, survivalist stuff. Like, I can now rub 2 sticks together and make a fire sometimes. I wouldn't don't count on it for survival at all, but maybe it's possible that I could make it sometimes. So that's cool. But yeah,
Matt always had something to start a fire with.
Yeah,
always.
or a lighter. I just use a lighter. I mean, that just seems a lot easier. But yeah, no, Bigfooting's great. my mission statement for Bigfoot is to, is just to get friends and families off the couch and into nature. That's just fundamentally why I do it. Especially, you guys, I've shared my growing up stories in front of the TV screen. So getting outside every chance I get is just, I'm making up lost time. I think that's why I'm out so much. That's why I tent camp as much as I do. I think I'm making up on lost time that I missed out on my childhood growing up. I don't know. That's getting deep right there. Let me tell you.
It is. Yeah.
Matt and I always talk about how much better we mentally feel after being out in the woods, and spending time in nature, spending time with your friends, going after some sort of common goal, and, the physical health you get too. I translated from an active job to a desk job and packing on the pounds. So getting out there in the woods, and especially on Matt's short trips, they you start to get that back. So there's a lot of benefits to being out in the woods and doing this. And Mike, we're glad you stopped by and joined with us tonight. Where are you next, and where can folks find out more about you?
Yeah, next, I got a couple days off. My next event is September 26th and 27th and 26th, 27th, and 28th, something like that. Last weekend of September, I'm in Norton, Virginia. I am emceeing the Wood Booger Festival. Me and Charlie Raymond are going to be hanging out and doing some squatchy stuff down there, which is going to be awesome. And then I kind of slow down doing some local libraries. If anybody's interested in learning more about me and my journey, they could go to my YouTube channel. It's called Sussex County Bigfoot NJ, or you just search In the Shadow of Big Red Eye. Don't type in Red Eye because mine don't come up. Makeup tutorials doing. I don't know if you want to see that. And then, I'm on the website shadowofredeye.com. It says all my upcoming appearances. We're looking for help for the show. We're looking for a couple positions to fill. So if anybody's interested in helping out the show, check out the website. You can't miss it. We have a rockin' Instagram too. Etsy, if you want to help support the show, buy a magnet or a sticker. Like that helps a little bit. But the real way, guys, just please, if you could, just head over and subscribe to that YouTube show. Guys, I'm kind of making money on YouTube now. So let's keep that rolling. And, why not, right? It's not a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's not a lot.
Hey, every little bit helps, Mike, right?
Yeah,
every little bit helps.
And it's a fun, as Bigfoot field researchers, I don't know if people realize that we don't make a lot of money.
No.
We spend a lot. Spend an awful lot. Yeah, but Mike, to your point, every little bit helps. Matt, before we end the show tonight, I did want to give you an opportunity to plug an event that's happening as well at the end of the month.
Sure. Oh, I appreciate that. So September 27th, in fact, actually, I just pulled it up right here. We will be doing the North Central Pennsylvania Town Hall at the Austin Campground at Nelson Run in southern Potter County. And we have myself, Sean, and Gwen Purcell from Got Knockers. Go and visit her page, the Got Knockers website. It is fantastic. The three of us are going to be discussing about the ongoing research up there, our own experiences, and then we're also going to be sitting back and taking reports. Later on that evening, we're going to organize a night hike and have some fun. So it's a great area. It's an absolutely untouched area up there. The reports are coming in. We just had a Class A back in April.
Right.
So it is a fantastic area. So, and it's a great weekend to be out. So take a quick day trip up to Potter County, see me, Sean, and Gwen, and have a good time.
Folks, we'd also be remiss if we didn't take just a moment to acknowledge the passing of luminary Dr. Jeff Meldrum, who we've had a little memorial tribute to at the top corner of the page here all evening. Sad is the only word that comes to mind about this. And we will be hosting a memorial show at some point. We just felt we'd give it a little time. We got a lot of memorial shows going on out there. There was one going on tonight. Didn't want to steal anybody's thunder or have folks choose who they wanted to go listen to pay tribute to Dr. Meldrum. So, very sad. Condolences go out to his family and to all his friends and to those of you that were really close to Dr. Meldrum. Someone I've worked with on and off for over the years. I wouldn't say we were best buddies, but definitely, friendly, acquaintances. So just really sad, but we didn't want to take the whole temperature of the show down. We wanted to keep it a little lighthearted and fun, and I think we succeeded in that. So there'll be something forthcoming. Henry, why don't you take us out with those dulcet tones?
Y'all be good or be good at it.
Doesn't get better than that. Folks, keep on squatching. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Mike, thanks for joining us. And folks,
thanks for having me.
Yep.
We'll see you later, everybody. You've been listening to the Sasquatch Experience. Please rate and review wherever this podcast is consumed. For more information, please go to our website, SasquatchExperience.com. Keep on squatching.